What's going on, team? How we doing out there? Welcome to Money Mitch. If this is your first time watching the show, well, I will let you know I'm a little confused today, and I'm sure you're not the only one out there that's probably confused also with me. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, "What is going on? Why is the market ripping up during war?" I don't know. Honestly, I'm a little confused today. Is this a dead cat rally? We'll talk about it. We'll look into the technicals, see if that's what we're pointing out to, and also point to the major levels that you guys should be watching tomorrow to find on out. Is it the dead cat rally or not? Tune in right here, guys. Welcome to Money Mitch. Let's get it going.
It's time for Money Making Mitch. When investors need a story, we're going to the moon. Welcome to Money Mitch, where story is everything. I'm here to find you the next opportunity. It's all about the green hands. Now we all know the bull market is here to stay. Money Mitch.
All right, traders, how we doing out there? Let's go ahead. Let's dive right in. First thing we got to do is explain why I'm so confused about what's going on in oil. I mean, we'll talk a little bit about that, but I mean, it just kind of doesn't really add on up because there's really concerns now of oil supply, right? And so this should get us a little bit of a spike. It's not even like we even got the potential turning towards the negative news of a nuclear deal with Iran. Of course, that could help improve the supply issues if Russia really kind of holds out on the oil. But right now, I mean, man, I just don't understand this oil move. And I'm glad because today I did myself a favor today and saved myself some money. And a lot of that is based on the famous quote, markets. I got you. I got you guys right now. Markets can stay irrational longer than they can stay solvent. What does this quote really mean? And I think this is very important to kind of go off of. So one of the things that I always kind of look at sometimes is when I feel like the market's being illogical. Right. I've done my studies, at technicals. I've done my studies in fundamentals. You guys know how I love stories. And sometimes when I just like all three of those things just don't make sense. Today, the story being really negative, pointing to fundamentals on the downside. Why? Because interest rates should be going on up. Another thing, of course, supply could be going shorter. So you should be seeing what? Of course, an increase in price because demand isn't changing there. If anything, it might increase. And it just doesn't make sense. And when the markets don't make sense, what I like to do is just put my money right back into my pocket because that's going to at least get my money back into my pocket in my control. And especially as a trader, and maybe not in your investing account, but as a trader, you always got to know sometimes when you just don't see things adding up. And if you don't see it, your strategies aren't working and it just isn't aligning with your thoughts, then sometimes it's okay to just take a step back and say, okay, guys, I'm going to see what happens here versus try to guess what's going on. And we're going to have to go ahead and do so. So welcome to it, guys. Welcome to Money Mitch. Let's go ahead. Let's dive right in, guys. And let's get into the SPY. Let's talk about what we saw today. Is this a dead cat rally? Where some oil names out there? And of course, we'll also get into why I sold my gold trade today. We'll talk about it. And I did see mentions in the chat about AU. So we'll talk exactly about that trade. Let's go. Let's go. Money Mitch.
It's time for Money Making Mitch. When investors need a story, we're going to the moon. Welcome to Money Mitch, where story is everything. I'm here to find you the next opportunity. It's all about the green hands. Now we all know the bull market is here to stay. Money Mitch.
All right, sorry about that, guys. Had to close my door. Was making a little bit too much noise there. So let's get into it. Let's get into the stocks here. Let's take a look at what are we seeing out here. 428, 486. So important, guys. We got back towards the red line. If you remember, we were trading in this zone, and I was wondering if we were going to break back through that zone. We broke through that zone yesterday going into the close. That's what was getting us kind of concerned. And now the 419 was the next area that I was going to pay attention to. Why? Because we set a high today, and I'm going to show you guys what I was looking at. I even put out a tweet on this. I thought it was going to be the high of the day. It was this point here where we broke the 15-minute trend. We started coming on down towards the VWAP, and this was very close towards when Joe Biden was speaking here after that 1 o'clock into that 1:30. That's what got us into the rip. And I was wondering if we were just going to crash right back down towards the 410. And so that's why I was a little bit confused here. That was the level I was looking as a green level. What I mean by a green level means that we're looking for longs above that level. And it looked like it pushed on up and it just started holding. You could see the breakout here, throwback, and then it takes it out and holds the pullback there, then starts really pushing towards the next level of resistance. Now the 428.86 area is coming into play. If you see, we went to 428.76. We're going to see if that's going to hold, if it's going to hold as resistance, or do we just come right back down to the 420s? That's what I'll be looking at in the SPY at least. Let's get into some of these oil names. As confused as can be here. MRO, I was thinking we were going to get a pop at the open here, and we were looking at it. I was taking a look right out the gates, and I was like, okay, so we're setting up for a move above what? 2350. You see this line here, guys? This was the green line for us. This would be the line that would get us long on oil. And then what did it do? It came into the market. And what happened right at the gates? This was 8:30. Look right out the gates. We don't even get nowhere near up here towards the 2350s. We really quickly just start rejecting. When I saw that, that's when I was a little bit like scratching the head, like, what is going on right now, man? I'm not understanding the market right now. And when you don't understand the market, guys, that's when we're going to really going to be a little bit patient. As traders, one thing that we do and we do best is when we're in the zone, right? I've talked about this before. Trading in the zone, what does it mean? It means when everything's aligning correctly, you're executing great, your strategies are lining up, and your setups are setting up in, like, let's say pre-market and completely following into the market, and you're just nailing the trade. You're in the zone. Sometimes it's going to happen where you're in the zone, something happens in the market, whatever it may be, and you feel like you got out of the zone. That's what happened to me today. And with that being said, you got to be careful at moments like that. I did have a great positive day, actually made some money today on trades that, turned around massively by the end of the day. Like, we'll take a look here at Boyle. It was a good trade, but at the same time, it was a scary one. Let me tell you guys, we were getting down here. We saw the hold. It started coming back on up. We started pushing on up on Boyle. I was in here at the 41.38 area on Boyle, and then we started pushing on up. We ended up selling some, getting a push like we were going towards that 44, eventually selling the rest of the shares at 42. But, man, if I didn't sell those at 42, it would have come right back to my break-even spot. So, definitely it was a tough day. It was a tough day for me. I can't imagine how tough it was for you guys out there. But let me catch up with the chat and see how everybody's doing. All right, smarter, not harder. Mitch wanted to ask about the AU price action. That's exactly where we're going. Blind Trader, how we doing out there? Freddie P in the house. Daryl, what's up out there? Monster Energy, let's go. Square made $5 on a short. Oof, you crazy, BNZ. Not a bad one to take a trade, though. I think it was more sell the rumor, buy the news event this time around. But the opposite for the oil melts, since they were rotated in prior to actually the announcement of war. I don't think that's a bad look that you're looking at. And that's completely what it could be. But my thing here is there's still upside for oil, like the barrels, like literally the physical thing, I think could go up to $120 a barrel. And so that's where I get confused. Shannon says, so confused too. So glad I'm not alone. Dots just don't connect. Only thing maybe damn is that a little bit of my CCL from yesterday. Yeah, I mean, CCL didn't look too bad today either. But I completely agree. And there's moments that this is going to happen, and you have to be able to admit it. That's what I'm doing today, guys. I'm admitting right now, I don't know where this market's going tomorrow. But what am I going to do? I'm not going to call anything. I'm going to react. And if anything, swing trades on, pull them off. That's what I did today in AU. So let's go ahead. Let's dive right into that. AU taking the swing trade off, and it did go into our golden zone where we wanted to take profit, guys. We had this box drawn on out. We wanted to get towards the 24. When did we draw this box, guys? This box up here, this was supposed to be where we were taking our profit, and maybe I got a little bit greedy here towards the open. I did take some profit into that fill. So let me go here and just kind of fill this in here. But as you guys can see, we got up there. We drew this on the 14th of February. That's where we started swing trading this. Now look how we got up there. We got into the reward area, and it just turned around on us. It didn't hold that move. Could it continue going? Yes, it could continue going. But right out the gates, I sold some there at 23. And I said, you know what? Once we got down here to, let's say, the 2250s, and we were getting back towards 22, I said, it's just not comfortable for me anymore being in this trade. And I don't understand the market right now. So instead, I'm going to take the money off. And of course, I could have taken the money off in pre-market. I wanted to give it a shot to kind of get that little spike up towards 24s. And then I was going to take the profit, at least majority of it off, look for a continuation to 25, and then take the profits there on any pullback. But as you can see, that's not what the market gave me. So instead, I took the profits and ran with them. All right, coin earnings, Bitcoin rip. Yeah, I do see that. I'm not so sure about these earnings rips right now because they're all over the place, and I really don't believe in coin. Look how it came up and down. Went up for 200. Now it's back down to 167. I mean, Zscaler today with their earnings. Look at this one. Boom. This is the definition of today, guys. It went straight up, straight back down there. So I'm just not sure today what's going on out there. All right, so gold, I'll keep on the gold. What could happen here? What could we continue to see? So if you look here, we actually pulled back all the way into the pattern here for GOLD. So we're going to use that as our indicator tomorrow, and we're just going to watch this stock. If it can get back up there towards, let's say, 2350s and start pushing back, then yeah, we can get back on up there. But if we can't hold this support around this 2260s and get on back up there towards the 23s, then you could see gold start turning around. Block, someone wants to get into. I'm just not sure about this one. I wish I knew a little bit better in calling this one. I've been doing great on calling this one to the downside. Now, when do I flip? I mean, I've been waiting for at least monthly support to come into play. You actually hit that right now. And so the question is, does that monthly support hold? And so you're looking towards 8150s right now. I mean, you're 10 points off of that. I don't know if you can take the trade here, but if that's what you want to be taking a trade off of, then by all means, go ahead. This is one that I just don't know. And I'm not going to call it because I called it to the downside and I warned about these. I'm not going to try to play bottom here. And I think that's what a lot of people are trying to do in a lot of stocks right now is play bottom. And I just don't want to play that. First day of full invasion, people are dying, inflation high, yet markets up, oil down. I don't get it. I think the market's manipulated. You're not incorrect with your thinking, man. It's okay. When the market's moving on up like this, and for some reason, I mean, we're going to war and the market's moving up, you're not the only one that's going to be confused. So what we're going to do is you see this white line here, and I'm going to show you guys right now. This is what we're going to watch on the SPY. We talked about what can we watch to see if we get the breakdown again. So look at this line here, and we're going to draw that, and we're going to just hold towards that line. I do it as the white line there, so I'm just going to delete it right now. But here you guys have it. So back down through the 420s tomorrow is what we're going to be looking to see if we get that downside capitulation down through the lows of yesterday. And so that's the important thing too. I don't want this to just start sideways consolidating here. If we're going to get that real downside action, we should see it tomorrow, get back into this box and really take it on out. So I'll actually draw the box there for us. We'll see if we get back into that box tomorrow. And then, of course, stick around, guys. We'll see what happens. And if we can hold above 430s, you can be looking for longs. So I can't blame you if you're looking for longs. And if you are that type of person, you're looking for the longs, I'm not going to be mad at you. Definitely. I mean, play your play. That's what's important here too, is noticing how so many traders are all over the place. Even the smartest traders in the world right now are going to be on different sides. And so what you need to do is stick to your play and what is best. So right now, above that green line, and let's say above the red line here, 428, you get into the 430s tomorrow, you could see some upside potential. All right, guys, we got over 150 people here right now. Please do me the favor, if you're just joining the show, throw a stock that you guys want to cover, and please hit the thumbs on up. I have admitted today I'm a little bit off. I don't know exactly where the market's heading, but one thing I'm going to do is always be transparent with you guys. When I feel like I got it on top and I'm seeing it, I'm going to call it out how I see it. And also when I don't, kind of just see the patterns matching, or maybe today, I just don't understand why certain things are up and down, I'm going to call that out also. All right, great way of thinking. Money in the pockets are not money lost. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just got to take the money and run. Did you see run? What a pump. Yeah, solar stocks, dude, solar stocks. A lot of times we look at what was strong, and this is why I do analysis all the time. So, Pedro, look how quickly I'm on here, right? And so today was another thing in a good lesson in doing sector analysis. So if you guys see at the top here, right here, this line here, it represents the change overall. The change overall is important, and I look at that all the time. But I think what's more important is change percentage from the open. Why does this matter to me? Because a lot of times you're going to get stocks and sectors that are actually red to begin the day, but then when the stock market opens, it's just pure green. And that's the important thing to catch. Today, technology did just that. It opened up and man, it was in the red. It was completely in the red. It was in the red, I think, by like 2 point something percent. And what do you see here to the right? You see the open change since the percentage change since open daily. And this is up for technology, 6.47%. So 6% move on the sector. Yeah, I missed out on that move. And I could have been trading that. Maybe I wasn't quick enough to react. Maybe it just wasn't for me today. And maybe you guys could have been mastering that and been doing even better than I do on sector and industry analysis. Catching to see the move, catching to see what run, and then going into the industry to see what stocks are running. Pedro mentioning here, run. If you looked at technology, what led technology today? Solar up 14.44%, the whole industry. So what does that mean? I don't even have to I could close my eyes, guys. Close my eyes on these solar stocks, and they probably went up today. And if you bought the basket, you probably made some good money. So this is why I like to approach things in sector and industry analysis and try to swing trade off of that too. A lot of what I do in my bread and butter is going to be always my swing trading. And I'm looking for that to catch it, because if you can catch those momentum swings, even as a day trader, you could have killed it today. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at some of these solar names that more than likely made a huge run. And for Pedro there, a little pun there. Definitely look at that. Boom, straight on up there. And those are the type of stocks that you want to be getting into, the ones that start trending, and you could catch the lag type of moves. I'm sure there's one of these that kind of even stuttered out the gates. I'm going to go to a 5-minute here so that we can see the charts a little bit better. But you can see here, this one right out the gates, about 940, you get the big run. So the next one, what happens in Nova? Nova was right at 935. So this one started moving a little bit quicker. If you look at MaxN, right out the gates, 935, that one started pushing. And so when you catch these, you're able to look and try to find the trades and maybe take a basket of these versus just taking one. And that's what I think is always important. And what really caught my eye as a trader is that I would go through stocks like this and I would be like, man, holy crap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 out of 20 of these items here, all into the green today, all looking like good charts. If I knew some patterns and how to trade these, balance out, man, I could have made a pretty decent trade there. And so that's how I approach it, guys. I hope that you guys kind of approach and like this kind of advice. Looks like you guys are appreciating it. And this is what I want to talk about today, because I feel like this is what you could really build off of. We're going to get into some stocks from the chat right now. Like always, I see over 202 people here. I think you guys are enjoying the stream. Hit the thumbs on up. Let's keep going here. And I know it's a tough market out there. So I did see X pushing on up a little bit. But like always, guys, I think everyone today needs to ask themselves, it's a trap. Oh, I don't even have my stream open, I think. Did you guys hear that one? It's a trap. Is it a trap? It's a trap. I think that's the question we need to ask ourselves, because solar has been one of those really trappy ones too. When it breaks on up, last time this did a nice push on up, it just completely faded that move eventually. So we'll see what happens. I do see a lot of things going on in the chat, so I'm going to try to catch up here. Run was a good trade. We'll take a look at that. Earnings will bottom and could rip your face off. That's for sure, MD. Many gold stocks are overbought. Yeah, it could be why I pulled back today. I mean, just kind of a buying of the rumor, selling of the news. I mean, we bought on the rumor, right? I'm not going to complain about it. I still made a good profit. What happened to Tesla? Dropped 100. All right, let's take a look. Tesla looks like, well, Tesla, I mean, really, Tesla is one of those that it's all about in favor, out of favor. So with that being said, I mean, we could take a look here at different EVs, right? And so let's take a look at different EVs. So even Ford, I mean, Ford, very similar chart, right? Even though this is a completely different pricing, look how similar these charts are if you didn't look at the price. And so this just goes to show you that they trade a lot hand in hand. Again, what I try to talk about, that they trade with the relationship. And so the relationship here, you got to definitely catch it. Like today, these stocks started popping. NIO, look at NIO really pushing on up. If you took a look, probably XPEV or maybe even FSR. Boom, you see? And this is what we want to be kind of catching. When you catch the relationships, you're able to go ahead and diversify into the plays, helping you out on the risk side by diversifying and then opening you up to bigger rewards, because yeah, one could stop you out, but then you have other plays on and boom, you're making that money. All right. Do I have the Vail earnings report? Pam, I could pull it on up, but I'm going through so many stocks right now. I'll tell you what, Pam, go to Benzinga Pro, and then you can get your 2 free week trial, and you could go through all the earnings report. I would go through Vail. I might go through it a little bit later. But as you can see, it is taking a little bit of a beating from there. We'll see if it holds 1660s. Looks like I already had this line drawn for me. So I'll look back and see where that 660s from. It's from this support right here. So the 17th and the 18th, you have some support right underneath there. Look to see if you can recover that 1660. If not, you can break it down on the downside. But of course, this was the metals. You saw a lot of that turn around today a little bit. What you want to see is a nice 17 move tomorrow and give you that bullish engulfing candle. All right, Palantir being brought up. I'm going to go through stocks from the chat now. We'll go ahead and talk about some of these. If you guys got a stock, throw it on up. I'm going to try to be really quick because we got about 10 minutes. Palantir catching the bounce there. Where do we got to really get into is 12. We've talked about this before, so I'm going to go ahead and set that line as the green line. That's what you're going to look for tomorrow. Day 2 move through 12. That's what I'd be watching. Palantir did push on up there. But if you can see here, you have a resistance that you're coming into play right at 12. Let's see if it retraces back down towards this area into the 1050s tomorrow. And then we're going to have to just keep an eye on it. For me, Palantir is, I mean, you could be trying to catch the bottom. I would wait till I really see this thing get the motors going and coming on back. Mitch, buy the invasion has been historically positive. Yeah. I did hear about this today. And so sometimes it's important to look at statistics, right, Devin? I can't blame you even for mentioning this. I mean, maybe I just missed it. Maybe it's just that today is one of those days that historically is positive. And sometimes you got to know these stats. I honestly have not known my war stats. Maybe you guys can blame me for it, but I just don't know them. So maybe I missed that. Maybe you caught it, Devin. But to me, I just don't understand how it's positive, but I heard a lot of that. So we'll see tomorrow if we get that really kind of bad day to come into play. Lucid, let's take a look. Lucid, I actually got stopped out in Lucid today, guys. Was looking for a short after yesterday's call that was really great, and I didn't make that much money. Probably a little FOMO got to me today, but can't blame myself. At least stuck to my rules, and I think that's the important thing. Like always, if you can stick to your rules, you can take these kind of trades. This was a trade kind of going off the high of the day in a multi-time frame resistance. So going into an hourly resistance, running into that. And so I was looking for it to run into that and then just start ticking back down. That's what I was looking for. If you take a look here on the 5-minute, you had the 3 highs, the rule of 3. We were looking for it to reject off the breakout, which was a move above here, 2450s, right? And so we got a little bit of a shake here. So I got in there. And what happens? It go ahead and just shakes me on out. In 5 minutes, I got stopped out and saved myself a good amount of money. Why? Because the stock ended up ripping out after that sideways consolidation, getting back to that resistance, and then we started seeing the push. Now, where does this stock go from here? I think you really just watch the other EVs, kind of keep those on radar because those are going to kind of lead you a little bit. But for right now, I think Lucid, with the recall that it's had and a lot of things just not pointing towards, like, let's say, continuous catalysts that should be coming on out, I would be watching for this to actually really make another move. So that's a day 2 move above 26. And then you're seeing the reversal come right back into this consolidation, which I really would like to see the 27.55 because that's where you broke down from, which was this candle. So we need to get really back towards that candle to get kind of more in a bullish sense. That's where you broke down from. So you could reject off of that candle and then get really quickly right back down. Moderna had a good day today. NDRNA. Let me just. Moderna. I don't know why I always forget it's mRNA. I don't know why I always want to put a D in there. Let's go ahead. Let's see this bounce here. It was just kind of a dead cat bounce to me. This was the opposite of a dead cat bounce. So this is a dead cat rally. So you're getting the bounce off the bottom here after this thing has been super oversold. But honestly, would you guys buy Moderna here? I mean, I feel like the COVID is what really pushed Moderna. And I don't think that you can possibly even maybe get back towards that 400. I got to be honest, guys. I don't think we can get back to that 400. So I don't believe in the story of this stock after COVID. In COVID, I mean, we could see here this stock was just a straight monster. But ever since kind of you're starting to see kind of the worries go away about COVID, it's been really on a fade. I just don't know. Honestly, I'm not going to call it here towards the upside or downside. Levels that you need to see break are just hold the trend here from right here and look for this to kind of take it out towards the 160s. You'd want to see a day 2 candle work its way up here towards the 180 get through that resistance, because you're going to find a resistance up there at 175, and we'll see if it gets on up there tomorrow. That's Moderna. All right, guys, let's keep going. Block, please. I already went over block. I think you should already saw that. NIO, we already talked about also. SoFi. SoFi is one that is finding a little bit of a bounce. Sal, talking about CCL. Not a bad one to get into. Let's do that one. Actually, I've been waiting to get back into the reopening trades. We called them for a little bit there. They were really looking strong. But what happened was the overall market turned on us. And I think that's important sometimes to see. Is it my play? Is it the overall market? I got to pay attention to that because it could come back. Today, CCL definitely finding some support. And so one thing that we can do is just clearly draw support off of that. I'm going to actually delete some of these levels so that we can see a little bit clearer here. Sometimes you just get too many levels, so just kind of back out and see, what are you looking at really? What do you see? So for me, I can see that we're kind of in this trend where we've traded in this channel. We broke out and down of the channel. Now we're trying to get back into this zone. So if we can get back into this zone, then we're going to really pay attention to it. Try to get back towards that high up there, towards the 200-day moving average. One thing that I can see, though, is what the 50-day is kind of starting to curve a little bit and heading towards that 200-day. That's a really good sign. That's showing us that we're starting to get kind of that curve effect here on Carnival. The real key is Carnival isn't going to, I think, give you the biggest gainer, but I do think that you have at least some mitigated risk here. COVID really starting to step down. Reopening trade has been something that I want to keep an eye out for. The market turned around on us. If we can keep getting these to kind of go up, let's say when the market's going down, because for a small second there, it was doing this, that's what we need to pay attention to. So look at it. See if when the market's going down, are these reopening trades going up? And so CCL, I know that NCLH had some earnings after the close. So I know they're probably not the best earnings because, they haven't really gotten their ships on. But if you can see here, it just kind of went sideways. So, hey, not bad there. Norwegian kind of catching a good bounce there. All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep going. I got about 2 minutes left, guys. So let's go. All right, so speed mode time. AMD on the super bounce today here. AMD coming right back on up there towards 120. That's going to be a big resistance coming into play. You actually got the 200-day right above it now. But the 50-day also just like right there too. So it's kind of curve and trying to get it on up there. I do like this name. I thought we would possibly get underneath 100 today. It got close to there, but it did not break the 100. I wanted to take a longer trade on this, like kind of a bigger time frame type of trade. But today bouncing back there. So look to see above 120s tomorrow. If not, it could come back into play around the 110s and kind of stay in those sideways consolidation. Oil, Sammy, your bet is as good as mine right now. I just don't know, Sammy. I just don't know. Bought Outlet and AMC this morning. Damn, I'm good now. I was thinking about buying Outlet. I think I even talked about this yesterday, but I did not take the shot. And man, that's at least a good bounce there. If you did take that one, that's not a bad one to take a look at. AMC also did good for you. Yeah, AMC trying to recover that 18. 18 is so important. It was funny when this kind of got up there towards right here. When it got up there, I was looking to see if it was going to recover 18. Was worried about it coming back towards 15. What does it do? In one day, it hits the bottom and hits the top of those lines. So it hit the support today and hit the resistance. That's how you know how wild of a day it is. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping on up here. Let me see what other ones being mentioned. Glad you enjoyed it, Sal. Miss Whitehorse wants to take a look at what? Oh, Wayfair? Yeah, did this ever open out of the hole? Man, this thing was a weird trade today. I didn't exactly see the news on that. So if you have the news, Miss Whitehorse, please let me know. Corey, appreciate you signing on up and becoming a YouTube member. Appreciate you. If you got a stock you want to take a look at, throw it on up. I'll make sure I go a little overtime just for you, Corey. Miss Whitehorse, I don't know what happened with the news, so I'm not going to guess too much about what happened here in Wayfair, but it did really hold that 120 once you got back above it. Let's take a look at the daily. All right, so this stock has come up. It essentially kind of like was at these levels before. So, I mean, you're getting back towards this 2020 time and 2019 time. So at least you're back into those time frames. If you're looking for a longer time frame type of trade, you did get a lot of volume in it today. I just don't see so much there. I mean, you'd have to go off of that, maybe the 121. Maybe you're going off of this low here, 117, and you're just going to hold really tight to that 117 to see if you come off of that. Then I don't mind the trade, but really it's not my bread and butter here. Nintendo. Oh, can we just play Nintendo, Jonas? Do we really got to trade it? No, I don't look at Nintendo often. I mean, I don't think that trades on it doesn't trade on. It trades on OTC, trades on Pink. Looks like it's fading out here. But this is a kind of a metaverse type of play. But, I mean, look for a little bit of a retrace, right? So you see here, one of the things that you don't want to see is those multiple highs and rejections. And so you tried to start breaking on out here. You did a fake out. This is as good as a fake out as you can get right here. And then now you're turning away from that. So above 500, you can get bullish. Below 500, you should start worrying a little bit about coming towards deeper time frames. All right, Sophia, you can't spam in the chat, Sophia. I'm going to have to put you in the corner. You're in timeout, Sophia. Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes you got to put them in the corner. Can't blame me, though, right? I mean, let's go. Let's start wrapping on up, guys. PSFE. We'll see what happens there. Oh, like always, we'll see what happens there. PSFE. Appreciate you, Miss Whitehorse. Let's keep going. Let's look at the PaySafe. What is going on in PaySafe? I'm trying to see. Man, this thing. Look, I drew this line. Let's see where I drew this. When I drew this line, I drew this line on updated on December 16th, and I just been drawing that downtrend, and it just won't. It won't break, guys. Won't break that downtrend. So you got to get this back at least into 4. Look at the monthly. The monthly is going to be ugly, man. You got to get it out of that monthly trend. If it gets out of that monthly trend, call me. I'll take a look at PaySafe. But for right now, I just don't know about this one. It's down to $3. All right, guys, wrapping on up here. Hope you guys enjoyed the day. I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Hey, I definitely need a break. I need to go ahead and get to the gym, just kind of ease the mind, stop thinking about the market today, stop trying to figure out what's going on, just be reactionary right now, at least for me. That's how I'm going to approach it. Got out of the gold trade with a good win. Can't be mad about that. Got out of Boyle today with a good win. Just tap yourself on the back, focus, get the emotions down. Also, you guys out there, if anybody's in the conflict, I just want to show some compassion out there. Of course, no one likes to make money off of war. That really wasn't what I wanted to do. So it's kind of a bittersweet moment this morning when I did see the gold stocks, jumping through the moon. So it's a little bit hard to kind of keep those emotions into play, but always keep in mind that, and I said this on live trading, and I'll say it again, I really don't think stock market and Wall Street is compassionate. And some people might get mad about that, but I don't see that. They think about money, right? And let's just be serious. At the end of the day, the stock market was open today, and that's for a reason, right? Is because there's opportunities to be made in uncertainty. And that's what it was today. That was a really uncertain time. So also wanted to mention that. I did see a lot of people being like, well, how can you even talk about stocks today? Well, I mean, because this is what I do, guys. I mean, this is what I do is talk about stocks, look at stocks, trying to do this game, trying to play this, trying to improve every single day. And I hope you guys out there can improve by watching this show. So give a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe bell if this is your first time to the show, and we'll see you next time. and keep battling out there, because it's not easy. And if it's not easy for me that've been at it for 6 years and have done a lot of studying, I can just imagine for you guys that are newer traders out there. So just understand you're not alone in this battle. We'll be in here with you. Let's keep it going. Money Mitch. See you next time, guys.
Check